Yo, Laith, my name's Mahmoud, by the way, just to give you a proper introduction, dog. Appreciate you coming on.
Of course, man. I'm
I'm excited.
so excited, man. Hold on.
Why did you call Rami a genius and an innovator? What makes you say that, bro?
Oh, because I've known him since he was very young, and his brain works and is just incredible. And he's just like only someone like Rami could write like an episode like Strawberries, and make it meaningful and funny and have like a 6 7 minute scene with an imaginary Osama bin Laden and stuff. Like he's so smart. Like he'll know how to walk that line and yet stay truthful and be smart and provoke thought in people and make you think. You watch an episode and you go like you start thinking about so many things, and that's really smart TV. And what he's doing with everything else, he's doing Mo and he's doing so many other things. So it's yeah,
He's
and
doing Mo. He's like, is he a writer on Mo?
he's a co-creator and Mo. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it's
wow.
yeah.
So,
That's wrong, and he's still barely 30, so it's not even. Yeah, he's just getting started. You know what I mean?
mashallah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I hope we're all praying for him, and the sky's the limit with that guy. You know what's interesting, man? Every person I've had on who's met Rami, I
Mhm.
immediately go, okay, I'm interested. What's Rami like? And every single one of them has the best of things to say about this guy. So my content seems, if you go back and look at it, like it's promoting Rami and it's like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
really pro Rami. And it's because like every time I ask about him, people are like, "Oh, this is this amazing guy. He's
Mhm.
brilliant. He's smart. He's an innovator." It's the same stuff, and I'm like, "Wow, you can't
Mhm.
make this stuff up. People don't. You can't buy people's love like that."
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gaining anything from that. It's just the truth. I'm already on the show, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
you know.
What's been your
Um,
favorite? Oh yeah, go ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
What's been your favorite show to work on, or do you not have one?
Oh, it's definitely Rami. I mean, it's the just the special unity and family atmosphere that we have is like perfect environment. It's like a perfect bubble. We'll have 2 years off between the season, like with COVID. I came back, everyone was the same, and I remembered everyone's name. I could do a job with on another show like a week ago, and I'll forget all the names the people I meet and all that stuff. But it's just
Wow.
like everyone is so close. Everyone loves being there. Yes, it's a job, but everyone really, really loves their job. So it started giving all of us a voice, and it started as much as I hate using the word, and until we don't use the word, we have to keep on moving forward. It was groundbreaking, until we normalize it when it becomes just another show with a great plot. We're going to continue using that word, but it opened the doors for so many. It opened the doors for other people to have more courage and hope to present their shows, to go pitch shows about people of color or Muslims or this and that, and try to normalize it, like normalize, because the show in the end is about, yes, he's a Muslim, his family, they're immigrants and stuff like that, but they have the same problems that everyone else has, you know, because all the problems that we have are all universal. Teens, it doesn't matter where you're in the Middle East, you're Africa, you're here, wherever you are, you all think about sex. It's a fact. But you have all these things that they're dealt with in different ways. So I think that's the way to look at it. Instead of so the representation is really, 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 really important because it amplifies all our voices, and it doesn't matter even when you see us in roles that are not necessarily built around. Like I have a movie coming out and I play a lawyer, and his name is Khalil, called Khalil Immigration Law Firm. It has nothing to do with the culture, nothing to do with the culture, anything. But that really is important too, to say like, oh wow, look what they have. And they have this actor too, is also like, Middle Eastern and stuff like that. So I think it really is important. It's very special. It's very special.
What do you even love about acting? Like, what made you want to act?
I really don't know. All I know is that this is what I want to do, and I can't do anything else. You know. And it took me, and it went through stages. Like when I was 20, I moved to New York. I wanted to be an actor, and I wanted to be an actor like every other young kid who wanted to be an actor for the wrong reasons. Like I wanted to be famous. I wanted to have money. I wanted to be a star and all that stuff. That like I fell flat on my face before I even started stopped. When I was 29, I took an acting class and I fell in love with it. I'm like, oh my God, I fell in love with it so much. And I said, I want to be an actor because I love it so much. I love it. And then when I graduated in 2003, and it was post 9/11, different world and everything, I said, now I want to be an actor because I want to have a voice. So it went through these three different stages, and having a voice doesn't necessarily mean that I want to go and speak. I want to sit and give speeches, and it's just doing it and doing the right thing and inspiring others and opening doors and being an important part of the community. That's a voice. And now if you're an Arab American or just an Arab actor living in America, you have more opportunities than what we did. Like at one point in the beginning, I didn't have much of a choice. Like my first role ever on TV, where I made a lot of money, paid a lot of my debt back, and did a couple episodes of this show, and I played a terrorist. And it was a painful celebration because I celebrated it for so many reasons. I celebrated with my friends. Like as an actor, you have your first line on TV, which is a big accomplishment. Very difficult to do, to get that first one. And I made money, and I got into the union and all these things, but yet at the expense of like exploiting my culture, exploiting religion, exploiting all that stuff in a negative way. But I knew it was part of the plan. It was part of the plan. I have to do it now. And then I'll get to the point where I don't have to. And I did. And I will never do anything like that again. I don't regret doing any of that because it's part of my journey. It's so funny because my line, I always tell this story. My first job, that job I told you about, I had one line. I was in it a lot, doing bad stuff and dying and all that stuff. But I had one line, and my line was literally, I've been interrogated, and then I scream it out loud. They made me scream it out so loud. They said, Allahu Akbar. So bad. It was so terrible. And that word, Allahu Akbar, and it, again, doesn't matter what your religion is, it's a beautiful word because you use it. It's one of those words you use any context. One of them is taken out of context by radicals and stuff like that. But that's the one that everyone wants to analyze, and everyone uses that as a base of reference in the West. So fast forward, I don't know, 20 years later, I'm in Miss Marvel. And the first time you hear him, I don't know if you've seen Miss Marvel, but if you remember in the second episode when I'm introduced, I'm first my voice is introduced when they're in the mosque and they're praying, and you hear my voice underneath, and they're very low, very peaceful, very beautiful. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. And so it's funny how Allahu Akbar made a full turn, and that meant a lot.
I think there's a huge lesson in what you just said there. Sometimes you have to be wise in what hill you die on, because sometimes you got to lose some battles in order to win the overall war.
So how does she convince everyone that she's good?
Good is not a thing you are, Kamala. It is a thing you do.
SubhanAllah, I think that because it bothered you, even though you kept going and understood why you had to do it and so forth, but it bothered you, I feel like Allah didn't want to upset you or leave it at that. So he made it come for a full circle. That if it didn't bother you, if you were like, oh yeah, Allahu Akbar is Allahu Akbar, maybe you wouldn't have gotten that one moment to really be able to mend it in your own self. Allahu Akbar. Like Allah gave you that chance again, in a way.
Yeah, I can see that. It's everything's meant to happen, man.
I think you were even talking about at some point you went broke after you had a business that you ran.
Yeah.
So, what's up with your store?
Dad, stop.
Yeah, tell us about the business.
The diamonds are the same, but the people have changed.
So, business is good, probably growing, have too much on your hands, and need someone close to help you with it.
No, he doesn't, Dad. Don't do this.
Oh, Ramroom got fired from his little fancy job, huh?
I didn't get fired. We went under, so...
Under, huh?
Yeah, of course. I lost my business that I had with a friend after 9/11. Got in debt, and it was terrible. I had no one. You know what I did? I went to school and I ended up getting a scholarship because I was going to quit. And then I had 3 jobs I was doing that no one else would do. No one else would do because a lot of people will be too proud to do. I did them, and I just didn't ask for handouts, and I moved on. That's what it's all about. How bad you want it. Because I could have gone if I got into anything else. If I applied my tenacity and my drive to anything else, whether it was, let's say, the stock market, Wall Street, whatever, I would have been a gazillionaire, but I probably would have been miserable. you know, yeah, I've had a tough journey, but I'm in a good place right now.
Alhamdulillah, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's like if I ask someone a question, or someone, a young actor, like, you have the opportunity to choose between being a good actor, a successful actor. Which one would you choose? You'll be surprised how many people say successful, but successful doesn't necessarily mean you're good, but good can lead to success. And successful means somebody can get an opportunity now. You could be terrible, but you just write for something and you work, and then you're done. You'll just tossed aside and they don't care about you. Then so successful doesn't mean anything as if that is what drives you, you know what I mean? Just to be successful, because you could be good. Like if Rami didn't happen and I didn't start getting all this attention for Rami and all the other work, I had a really actually very good career and I was very content. I was working all the time, doing enough work. People knew me in the community. I would do guest spots here and there. I ran one of the most prestigious acting schools in the world. I was the admin director there, and it was a very flexible job, so I never had to worry about an income. And I was very content with that. I was very happy, and to me, I found my success.
Mm.
But then all this other stuff started happening, and with my writing too as well, and all that. So I tell people you just gotta love it. Ask yourself why you want to do it first, and then understand that nothing is easy. You cannot. It's one of those things you can't put a time limit on this career, because while you're one job away from elevating yourself, you don't know if that one job is going to come after year 2, 5, 10, 15. I advise people that it is a craft and you really need to study it. So take an acting class, see if you like it first, you know, and then find a nice program and join it and do it while you study, while you're working. So you need to prep yourself for this industry. And the only thing that you have control of one thing. You don't have control about your aging, how you're going to look, the salt and pepper. You can't control any of that stuff. You can't control that, right? You can control one thing, is your command of your craft. Everyone I know who's like, Ramy trained, went through a program. May Kalamai went through we all went through the same program. And
what's the program?
It's at the William Esper Studio. It's one of the best training programs, like literally like studio programs in the world.
Where is it located?
It's in the city. It's in Midtown. It's in New York City. People can just Google it and mention my name on there. They'll it will be good too. Only if they're serious. Just put my name down if you're very serious about this.
That's awesome. That really is the breakdown, man. Thank you. Yeah.
You got it, man. You don't want to be like I've asked people, why do you want to be an actor? And somebody say like, because I want everyone to know who I am. I'm like, I have zero interest in talking to that person, because that person will never understand anything that I'm going to tell them. Any advice I give them does not go with their thread of thought and how they believe what they want. Somebody tell you, oh, I want to be famous. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, go, jump into traffic and scream something, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Push someone into a car, do something terrible, and you'll be on the cover of every paper tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Or go try to climb the Times building, and you'll be on the cover of every you'll be famous for 5 minutes. So fame means nothing.
Yeah. So I'm interested in your journey, because you even had such a deep crisis with the identity thing that you didn't even go by your name anymore. I
Yeah.
actually know a lot of people who do that. So can you run me through that?
Yeah. But I did the opposite of what everyone else did after 9/11. But it started because I was born in England and I grew up in England up until I was 10, and I didn't speak Arabic. I was a little English boy. And then we moved to Syria, and then I had to learn, another language, adjust to a new culture. And then I moved to America when I was like 20. And
Whoa.
and it was very difficult. I came here, I was already very open-minded to everything, because I was my whole life in Syria, what kept me going was my connection to pop culture and everything. And, and I became that guy, like everyone would come to me for movies, this and that. I was the one who started the breakdancing on the street. I did all these things. So I was very connected to pop culture. So when I came to New York, it was I was in awe, but it was an easier adjustment for me. But yeah, every time somebody would ask me, not every person, to be fair, but the majority of people, when they would ask, "Oh, what kind of name is that?" I'm like, "Oh, it's an Arab name. It's Middle Eastern," and you see the reaction would change, and and it didn't feel good, and people would always be talking about, like, I had long hair. I didn't have a haircut for 3 years. Like, my hair was so long. I was into rock and roll and everything, hanging out with these crowds. And, and ever something would happen in the world and everything, everyone would be like, fuck the Palestinians and terrorists and Arabs and blah, blah, blah. And I had to hear that all the time because everyone thought I was just a white guy from, and so then I started working at a car service company in Brooklyn, and had a major incident happen there with a client who called me a terrorist because I'm Syrian, and I changed my name, and I said, Laith means lion, which is Leo, and so I'm Leo. I became Leo. Lived in Bay Ridge. I was Leo from Bay Ridge, and I started talking like a little bit like Italians, and I just adjusted, and nobody cared. Nobody asked me where I was from. Nobody gave a shit. I was Leo. But then 9/11 happened. It was incredible because the amount of hate that I was surrounded by wherever I went. And I understand a lot of people were in pain. I was in so much pain about it. And I excuse a lot of good people who were speaking out of anger. There's some good people, they just couldn't help themselves, they were saying. But I got a mix of all the good people that I knew and just terrible people who just took it as an opportunity to say, I told you, let's get rid of Arabs. Let's get, they're terrorists. They all want to get rid of us and they blah, blah, blah. They want to kill us all. I kept on hearing so many things. Like wherever I go to my building, and the people in the front, they're talking about we should nuke the Middle East and get rid of all Arabs. Where I went in the volunteer line and people were chanting stuff I don't even want to repeat here. And then the next day I woke up and I'm like, you know what? Fuck Leo. I'm Laith. And I became Laith from Syria. So, and that was when I started embracing myself and changing and all that. So it was kind of a little bit in reverse. And after 9/11, because everyone started going the opposite, everyone who's Mahmoud or Muhammad changed their name. Like Muhammad will become George or Harry or whatever. Literally all my friends like, your name is Khalid. And now, oh no, I go by Harry now. Literally the truth. Wow. So from Khalid to Harry, I'm like, dude, you don't look like a Harry. At best, you look like a Jose. So, so go with Jose, man. Don't Harry. It's going to raise more questions, like, Harry, where are you from? What are you going to say? But yeah, that's
going to raise more questions.
That's the story, man. That's what happened.
Oh, man, that's awesome. You show a lot of grit with that stuff because that's one thing I would say I can highlight about your life as someone who's viewed it is grit. When things got tough, that's actually when you came out and shined. And not a lot of people can say that.